Are you stressed? I just wanted to start this by asking you how you're feeling. I know there's a lot going on. There's the elections. There's all this turmoil and things going on in the world. And I want to check in on you and make sure that you're okay and that you're dealing with this stress in a healthy and positive way. One of the best things that helped me during Lyme disease was not controlling, that's not the right word, understanding my stress, physically, mentally, emotionally, understanding exactly what's going on inside of my body and actually taking the time to listen to my body as well as to my mind and to my emotions as well. But really checking in with myself became a skill that changed everything in my life. Taking the time to actually slow down and think about how am I feeling in this moment? How does my body feel? How does my mind feel? How do my emotions feel going through all of that? And then even taking it a step further and going into, thinking about my body on a cellular level, down to the very tiniest part of the body, by the cells, right? And thinking about what are my cells doing right now? Are they creating energy for me? Are they making me feel alive? Are they making me feel well? Are they fighting off an infection? Or are they just sitting still and doing nothing, right? When we can start to control that conversation that happens between our mind and our body, we start to take back our life. We start to feel better because we're actually telling our body what to do in these moments. These advanced mindset ideas really helped me during Lyme disease. And so I try to share them as much as possible with people here on the channel. So hit the subscribe button if you're new here. And thank you for joining me. And again, feel free to let me know in the chat how you're feeling. Are you stressed out? Are you feeling certain things in your life that you wish you could change? Are you mentally stressed? Are you feeling better? Maybe for a lot of people, a weight was lifted off their shoulders now that this election is over here in the United States. But for some people, obviously, they didn't like the results. Other people did like the results. So everybody's feeling a little bit different right now. But how are you feeling? That's all I care about. So thank you for being here. My name is Ryan Kearns. You can join me every Thursday for these Lyme Q&As where we're going to talk exactly about healing the body from the inside out, holistic wellness, and Lyme disease for the moment for people that are struggling with Lyme disease and can't seem to get better. I want to offer you hope, and I want to offer you a path that can help you get there. So thank you for being here. You are making an excellent choice for yourself and for your body. So kudos to you just to start off. And last time I did this live video, I talked about this exact question. However, my sound cut out, and I know a lot of you missed what I was saying. I got a bunch of emails saying, I was watching your video and the sound went out. I'm so sorry about that. I'm learning as I go along, just like many of you might be as well when it comes to health and wellness and taking back your body. I'm learning about, the technology involved with creating something like live videos every week. And, obviously I'm not perfect. So it happened, but I'm here to go back over this so I can make sure I get all this information to you. So what foods are you eating? What are you avoiding? I think what Melissa was talking about in this case is what I was eating when I was fighting Lyme disease every day, because I consider myself fully healed at this time. I haven't had any symptoms in 9 years now, but it took a concerted effort of holistic wellness, nutrition, herbs, all of the things that I did, sleep, everything that I changed in my life over the years really added up to make it so that my symptoms just were gone forever. So the foods that I was eating were a lot of cruciferous vegetables, healthy fats like avocados. I was also eating beans at the time, a lot of beans and tofu. And I was eating salads, smoothies, and stir fries. That was basically the whole thing, right? I would eat a smoothie in the morning, a salad for lunch, and a stir fry for dinner, and that was a great way to go. I believe that you can get some of the healthiest results from doing that. Your body just starts to get all the benefits of the antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory powers, really, that vegetables have if you're able to have them in every single time you eat. It actually did wonders for my body, and I'm so glad I was able to do that. And I know some people struggle with trying to do that. That's why I'm here to try to help you. But what are you avoiding? What was I avoiding at that time? I avoided alcohol 100%. Didn't drink for a full year. I avoided chips, cookies, cake, candies, overly processed foods, oils. I even avoided fruits. I avoided caffeine. I avoided pretty much everything for a while because I used an elimination diet to figure out what was causing me the most discomfort, what I should eat and what I should not eat. I basically eliminated most things all the way down to just having vegetables, really. And then built up from there. And I think that is a great approach to take for your diet and nutrition when you want to heal from Lyme disease, is stripping it down to nothing, which is why the next question here is, what is dry fasting versus water fasting? Well, a lot of times, starting off with Lyme disease, with some serious infection that you're battling, it helps a lot to go back to base level, which when it comes to the human body, that's fasting, right? Just eliminating everything and not eating for a day can do so many different things in the body, specifically autophagy, which is your cells recycling. So your old cells, the dead parts of your cells and cells that are injured or dying will be removed from the body, and new cells will be formed to take their place, which is so beneficial for our body. It's actually insane. Now, they're just coming out now with the science around dry fasting, which is no water or food. That's only for 24 hours. You should not dry fast past 24 hours. That's a bad idea. 24 hours dry fast. And I just started doing this because I saw what was happening. I saw the data about it. I saw other doctors talking about it that I like and respect. And I decided to give it a try the other day. In October, this was. I did it twice in October, a 24-hour dry fast. And what happened was actually fascinating. It was very difficult, but then when it was over, I felt like a new person. I felt like I had reset my body. I had felt the same as if I did water fasting for a long period of time. So you can do water fasting for as many days as you want, to be clear and honest. There's people that have done hundreds of days of water fasting, which is overkill if you ask me, but I've done water fasting for 5 days. And that was difficult, but it wasn't impossible. We can live a very long time with just water. So I've tried that. And what they're finding, what I'm hearing, is that dry fasting for 1 day is equal to water fasting for 3 days. So if you're able to do 1 day of dry fasting, for a lot of people that works a lot better than having to do 3 whole days with just water and no food at all. Both of these are very difficult, don't get me wrong. And not everyone should do this. Some people should not do this. Some people should definitely avoid this because they're trying to build muscle or they're trying to not lose muscle. If you're someone that's rapidly losing weight, I would not suggest doing this. If you're someone that's really worried about keeping your weight up, I would not suggest doing this. This is for the type of person that knows that, maybe you're a little bit overweight, or maybe you're at your regular maintenance weight and you've been at this weight for a long time and you feel fine. It's probably safe for you to do it as well. But if somebody's losing weight already, they should definitely not use fasting on top of it, because it can become dangerous with the amount of protein cells that you're losing. The amount of muscle mass that you can lose from this would not be ideal. However, it does have an effect on growth hormone in the body as well, which helps to actually build muscle, which is a very strange concept that it works that way. But anyway, this person says they intermittent fast. Now, intermittent fasting is great for people that want to just control their eating habits and, find a way to eat less calories or lose weight. If you want to lose weight, you want to eat less calories. Intermittent fasting is one way to eat less calories, and it's one way to lose weight for some people. Now, there's no actual difference in intermittent fasting versus not intermittent fasting as far as how much weight you can lose if your calories are restricted. It's the same either way. And you're probably not getting to autophagy if you're eating during that day, in the sense of turning on the full idea of autophagy where it's working rapidly. That probably won't happen if you have that 18 and 6 eating window. that you're talking about here. She said she's seeing the benefits, which is great. Like I said, we're all different when it comes to food. We're all different when it comes to how we eat and what we eat and our culture around food. Food is a very personal thing. So I'm always for whatever works best for you. If you're seeing the benefits, you're seeing results in your life, that's great. You probably are taking a step towards something that you need to do, and you're getting there. So I love it. That's great. I've been taking your LymeWars Reserve protocol for 2 months now. That's great. I do drink coffee, organic, low acid. Okay, that's fine. I did stop drinking caffeine while I was healing from Lyme disease, and the reason for that is because it reduces blood flow to the brain by up to 30 to 40%, which blew my mind when I learned it. But you can go search this, you can go research and figure this out on your own. But it caused me to second guess, should I be drinking caffeine every morning if I want to protect my brain and I want to heal my brain and make sure microbes don't penetrate deep into the cells in my brain? Should I not focus on getting as much blood flow up there, protecting the blood-brain barrier, and making sure that everything stays how it is, right? So I decided to cut caffeine out, and it was difficult. It's hard to cut caffeine out if you're using caffeine right now and you take it out. You will have headaches. It's difficult, especially if you're an everyday user of caffeine like I was and like I am today, to be completely honest with you. But at the time, I did stop drinking coffee for a whole year. Actually, I think I only did quit coffee for about 6 months in this case, to be completely honest and upfront. But I did see the benefits of stopping coffee for a while. I think a lot of people can learn a lot from avoiding it for a little bit. Your brain acts differently when you don't have coffee or caffeine keeping you awake all the time. So it's important to try, in my opinion, and see how you feel. And some people never go back once they quit drinking caffeine. But some people, like myself, do enjoy a nice cup of joe in the morning. So it's up to you. But I support you either way. It's just, you have to be clear and honest about what benefits are there for stopping and what you're giving up or what you're not doing by continuing, which is fine. And then alcohol is always, there's really never a time when alcohol will be beneficial to us at all. It's almost always detracts from our health, and that's just a matter of fact. The only thing is obviously, the social lubricant effect of alcohol, which is 99% mental for people. And what I mean by that is it's not an actual social lubricant. It doesn't actually cause you to talk to your sister-in-law, right? Or your cousin that you haven't seen in 10 years. But it does change your brain chemistry to then make you more willing to do things that you wouldn't normally do. So I don't know. I go back and forth with alcohol, but to me, it's usually not worth it. I try to not use it at all unless it's just one of those nights where you're going all out. In this case, she says she's on vacation. Totally understand. Sometimes you just feel like you should have a drink, but we should try to keep that to minimal as possible. She says she eats minimal sugar. That's great. We want almost zero sugar for a period of time if we can get there. And, like I said, we want to rebuild our diet from the ground up. We want to strip almost everything out and then rebuild it with the healthiest possible choices. And I'll give you a secret here. When you fast, when you dry fast or water fast, it's actually astounding at what happens when you're done, because you don't actually want to eat the chocolate chip cookies when you come off of it. You don't actually want to eat the worst possible choice. When you come off of the fast, for some reason, our brain chemistry causes us to pick a very healthy choice usually. And it tastes amazing because you haven't had anything. And so, you have that first sip of pure water, and then you have that food for the first time. And it could be something like a celery stick, which obviously isn't that exciting, but your body really absorbs it differently and likes it more. And it actually changes our body for eating healthy. And from what I've seen personally from experiencing fasting, that's how I see it. And I've obviously done it with my friends and family and seen, the effects it has on other people as well. So and obviously my clients as well when they decide to fast. But it is tricky to get people to fast. I will say it is tricky, and it is tricky to for people to stick to a fast. And I understand why. It's definitely difficult, but if you can get yourself to do it, I think the benefits are very worth it and plenty. Now, Brian asked 7 questions here, and that's what I'm going to go over for the rest of this video, or these 7 questions, just to answer it for Brian. And I believe, a lot of other people will have some of these questions, so I think it's going to be really helpful for everyone. And this time I did have time to actually write the answers down, so this will be more interesting here. So he asked about nettle leaf tea, the pros and cons. Well, we got, it contains vitamins and minerals and antioxidants, so that's great. I'm all for anything that's green and leafy. That's pretty much one of the best tools, is just to, if it's edible, if it's consumable, and it's a green leaf, there's a very high chance that it could be beneficial for you. The different things that vegetables can do and leafy greens can do and different teas and herbs can do is blown my mind over and over and over again. So right away, I am a fan of nettle leaf tea. It can reduce inflammation. It can help with enlarged prostate symptoms. So, one of the highest growing concerns for cancer is prostate cancer. And, a lot of people have to deal with prostate cancer and enlarged prostates. And so this can help prevent conversion from testosterone to dihydrotestosterone, which is a, more broken down and advanced on the chain version of testosterone. And so it prevents that conversion from happening, which is what leads to enlarged prostates. So it can also lower blood pressure. It has antioxidants, which is amazing. We need to fight against oxidative stress a lot of the time when it comes to Lyme disease. So anytime something is high in antioxidants, we like that. It helps our liver health by protecting against toxins, heavy metals, inflammation. That's what those antioxidants are so good at. And it's reported to help with achy muscles and joints. A lot of people that have arthritis symptoms or Lyme arthritis or achy joints from Lyme, this is a great choice that can help to mitigate some of those feelings. And they write about this extensively in some of the more popular books, which we're about to talk about as well. Now, cons of nettle leaf tea: there is possible estrogenic effects. There was one case study that reported that a male developed breast tissue and a female developed high estrogen levels. So that's something to be aware of. Again, anything in excess, if you take like so much of this stuff, it could probably have a negative effect. But I would say having a cup of nettle leaf tea, a couple times a week or even once per day for a certain period of time is not going to cause you to automatically develop breast tissue as a man or have too high of estrogen levels as a woman. It is just like anything else. Don't overuse it, and there shouldn't be a problem there. And then the strong diuretic effect. Definitely don't want to be drinking a cup of nettle leaf tea right before bed. It does cause you to lose water and salt, and you will be up going to the bathroom. So we don't want that, because we care very much so about our health, about our sleep. Sleep is one of the most important things. We don't want to interrupt it by having to go to the bathroom. If that's happening to you right now, find a way to make sure you don't have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. Sleep is more important. Trust me, you don't want to be waking up to go to the bathroom. If that's happening to you, there are different strategies you can use. You can taper off your water later in the day. You can take just sips of water later in the day. For some reason, when we drink a large amount of water, like gulps, if we gulp it versus sipping it, that actually does change how much water our body thinks we need to get rid of. So that can change whether or not you have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, which is really fascinating, really cool stuff. And then, of course, there's normal herbal risk with this. Anybody can always be allergic to a very specific herb. It can cause hives, upset stomach, diarrhea, etc. This just happens with most herbs if you are one of the very small percentage of individuals that are allergic to that specific herb for whatever reason, or if you're just very sensitive to things in general, and this one just, maybe you get a wrong batch or something. There's that normal risk as well. So those are the cons of nettle leaf tea, which are not many. And as you can see, they're mostly pros for the nettle leaf tea, and I'm a big proponent of it. I like it a lot. It's written about in Healing Lyme, one of my favorite books, and it's a great choice for people that want to fight back against Lyme disease. I'm all for it. Next question, do any of the Lyme herbs decrease testosterone? That's a fair question and a good one. So we got Andrographis, which is the green one. We have one study showing it increases testosterone in male mice, another study showing it decreases testosterone in female mice. So that's obviously contradictory and doesn't really have much of an effect. They kind of cancel each other out a little bit, and they kind of don't seem to statistically matter that much. It's been used for thousands of years, and it's known for killing spirochete microbes like Lyme disease. It's antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and immunostimulant, which is fantastic, obviously, when you're fighting an infection with Lyme. Next, we have the cat's claw, which is the yellow one. This can decrease testosterone, but again, this is in mice studies, and we don't really have that much data on what herbs do specifically to humans. The reason for that is because it's not funded testing that we have here. They don't fund studies for this because they cannot own the patents for this, and they cannot make billions of dollars off, basically selling it. The pharmaceutical companies can't benefit from this, from these studies. So the studies don't happen because they're not funded. Okay, so I know, crooked, corrupt, not fair, but that is what it is. Is known for stimulating the immune system and reducing cytokine cascade. So when we have Lyme disease, a cytokine cascade, cytokines are like inflammatory little immune system monsters. They're basically like the fighter cells that are fighting off Lyme disease. And there's a cytokine cascade, meaning some get released, but they're not able to kill the Lyme disease. So more get released and more get released and more get released. And it leads to this massive inflammation effect in the body, and autoimmune diseases and inflammation abound. So we want to reduce that. We want to control that. And that's where cat's claw comes in. The benefits outweigh the risk, especially when other measures are taken to increase our testosterone. It probably will not have a big effect on us. Ways to increase testosterone is probably the next question in your head when I say that. And I'll just say real quick, get sunlight, get sleep, stay hydrated, eat healthy fats. Boom, your testosterone should do increasingly better from having all of those things in place. Now, all of those are much easier said than done. Obviously, there's a bunch of different steps you can do to make your sleep better. There's a bunch of different steps you can do to have better muscle mass, right? These different things that actually, add to the effect of testosterone and increase testosterone can be, they can all be broken down to further steps. But I just wanted to mention a few things that you could do, right? To kind of balance that out, because the effect that it has on our immune system and the cytokine cascade is worth it more than, having high testosterone is for a lot of people, for some people. Okay, so next we have Japanese knotweed. There's just not enough info. The data is contradicting. In some studies it increases, in others it decreases. It's usually mice studies. But this one is known for protecting the blood-brain barrier, improving blood flow, dilating blood vessels, and it stops Lyme microbes from penetrating deeper into cells and tissues, especially in the brain, in the heart, right? It tends to really help those key organs that we're trying to protect the most. And so these three together are a powerhouse for Lyme disease, which is why we created the LymeWars Herb Box. But to answer your question, there's not enough evidence that it like significantly makes your testosterone drop off a cliff when you take these herbs for fighting an infection. And again, it's important to have your what's the word I'm looking for? Priorities, I guess, for lack of a better term, to have your priorities in order. I understand if you do want to have higher testosterone, it gives us more energy, makes us feel good, like we can tackle anything, like it helps us drive forward. There's a lot of useful reasons why you would want your testosterone to be higher, but also if you have to cut out the anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial effects of these herbs that are going to help decrease your stealth microbes that are in your body, then that's the balance there. But again, I don't think it's so much so that your testosterone just drops off a cliff. I certainly didn't notice a big difference in that way. And ideally this is temporary. You will eventually stop using herbs at the right time, which we're going to talk about. And then your testosterone will just climb right back up if this is having a negative effect, which again, there's not enough evidence to show that it would. So how long will the herbs take to get me in a place where I'm no longer sick all the time? This is the question we hear the most. How long, right? And I totally understand why. I asked the same question. I wanted it to be over the second I found out I had Lyme disease, and it unfortunately just doesn't work that way. But the better question, how long will you take the herbs as part of your healing plan? Okay, the herbs are not the easy button. They're helpful in supporting your healing processes, but they should not be the end-all, be-all of your plan, right? So it's not I take these herbs, Lyme disease goes away, period, right? Because of this. If you're eating fast food every day, if you're sitting on the couch, smoking cigarettes, drinking alcohol, the herbs will still probably help, but not nearly as much as someone who exercises daily, goes outside in the sun, has a very clean diet, and has great healthy habits, right? Obviously, those are two completely different people. Now, I'm not saying you're either one of those, but you land somewhere on a line between the two, right? So another question would be, what are you willing to do to improve, and what are you going to do to improve your holistic health, right? How else can you improve while taking these herbs so that everything works together and lifts you out of Lyme disease? That's how I viewed it. That's how I attacked Lyme disease when I had it. So I used these 3 herbs for 12 months, and I tell my clients to plan on doing the same. But during these 12 months, it's important to do everything, right? I did everything. I started with my diet and nutrition, my sleep-wake cycle, fasting feeding cycle, hormone production, cardiovascular health, muscle function. I wanted my body to perform at the best possible way, right? Now, not everyone is going to have that much of a mindset, right? Some people will say, I just want to improve my sleep. I want to improve my eating, right? Those two things alone can dramatically shift course of what the symptoms that you're dealing with Lyme disease. Because Lyme disease is really an immune system dysfunction disease. It is not necessarily just these stealth microbes that are causing all the problems. The stealth microbes are there, but when you add on different stresses, physically, mentally, emotionally, when we add on all of these things on top of it, right? Physically, your body is hurt, you're injured, you have achy joints, maybe you lost collagen from this battle with Lyme disease, etc. Mentally, maybe you feel depressed or anxious, right? These things all need to align together to feel the best version of yourself. That's when things start to really roll over in your favor and really start to feel better. You start to take back your health, and it happens all together in a holistic manner, right? So many times this world is broken down into reductionist thoughts, right? Our cells, our liver, our heart, our brain, right? And that's for us to understand at a deeper level. But at a point, it's forgetting that we're all combined together. Our mind and our heart are in the same body. We're one physical thing. We're a bunch of different things combined into one physical thing. But when we treat ourselves like that one physical thing and focus on our holistic wellness, how we're holistically feeling in every moment, and our health in every moment, that's when things start to shift and things start to work really well. So a holistic approach to wellness works best. Averages over time are more valuable than quick fix approaches that just don't work for the long term. So these herbs are so beneficial, so powerful, but it's not just going to be, I took the herbs and I was better. The reason I say that to you, when it's easier to say the other thing, is because I want you to get better. I don't really care if you buy these herbs. In fact, you can go get these at other places. They're Polygonum cuspidatum, Andrographis paniculata, and Uncaria tomentosa. Those are the exact Latin terms of each herb. You can find those in a health food store. You can go search the health food store, find all three, buy them. It'll probably be a very similar cost to what it is at LymeWars.com, but you can do that. But the thing is, we third-party tested them. We made sure they're the highest quality. We made sure that there's no heavy metals, drugs, or anything that you don't want in there, and that they're very simple and only one ingredient, so that you can change your dosages and make sure that you get the right amount of each thing to improve your body, improve your health, and take back your body. See, this is the difference between going to a health food store, finding these. You have no clue what is in there because you didn't third-party test them. You didn't, talk to the person who owns that company and find out if they're third-party tested and find out what lab they use to third-party test their herbs and all of those things. I can send you the certificates if you want, but just know I go through very rigorous things to make sure these herbs are good. And if they aren't, I will throw out a whole batch, lose a whole bunch of money, and take the loss rather than giving someone unsafe products, right? And because I use these for myself and for my kids, I use them whenever anybody gets sick. I have to do these things to make sure that they're safe, right? Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to take them myself. Which reminds me, last week I had a sore throat. I woke up, it was so simple. I took these herbs, the LymeWars herbs, the next day, no sore throat, no problem. I didn't skip a beat. I didn't miss a single day of work. I didn't miss taking my kid to their soccer game or to, going to school or anything like that. I didn't miss anything. All I did was take the LymeWars herbs because they're not just for Lyme disease. They're antimicrobial, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory. They help with any illness. So just wanted to throw that out there as I was explaining that I take them myself. Next question. Should I supplement 5,000 IUs of vitamin D3 for my immune system? That's a great question. I love that question, actually. Vitamin D3 is incredibly valuable and important, and so many of us are low in that nutrient. So it's good. That's why I like this question so much. The body creates vitamin D3 when exposed to sunlight regularly. Hint, hint, go outside, guys. I mean, I say it all the time, but getting sunlight on your face, on your skin, on your eyes, this can actually have a really, really beneficial effect on our body, mainly by making vitamin D3, but also by turning on, dopamine and testosterone and things that cause us to move, especially if we do this earlier in the day, right? When our body knows it's time to be awake and up and at 'em, because it's got that sunlight hitting it, then it actually translates into the rest of our day. All the data show that the body responds well and gets all necessary benefits around 1,000 IUs of vitamin D3 per day. And anything more than that can be pretty much overkill or wasteful, I would say. And it's crazy because you will see some companies selling 50,000 IUs of vitamin D3, 100,000 IUs. Like, it gets crazy because we naturally think more is better. And so they use that to their advantage to market products. But you can just use a supplement that's only 1,000 IUs. If you're using 5,000 IUs, you can take it every 5 days because 5,000 divided by 1,000 is 5 days. Okay. And I like the brand Thorne. They actually have one that is called D1000. It's a low cost, and it's just a 1,000 IUs of vitamin D3. And I trust that brand because they do third-party testing and they're certified safe, and they check out. So this will help you save some money and still get what's required to heal. Now, you can still take the 5,000s. Like I said, just take them every 5 days or so just to, space them out so you can save some money, because I know that a lot of people with Lyme disease are strapped for cash. But it's not necessarily harmful to take more vitamin D3, but it can be considered wasteful, right? It's also poor marketing practices by large companies to create such high dosage supplements, which should really only be used if you're clinically low in vitamin D3 and need to catch up in immediate fashion. So if you're like showing on your blood test that your vitamin D3 is really low, you might use a higher IUs to just like boost the levels back up. And then you could use the 1,000 IUs per day. So that's a great question, and I appreciate that question. And the answer is it could be 1,000 IUs. You can keep taking 5,000 if you want. I would space it out more, save yourself some time and money. What's the best book for Lyme disease? Well, since you mentioned it, it's the free Lyme survival guide that you can get by clicking in the link in the description. I wrote that book. It's 6 steps to what I did to take back my body and things that people can do in order to fight back against Lyme disease. So if you didn't get that yet, go grab it. If you're having trouble downloading it, like some people will, go to help@LymeDiseaseWars.com and we'll help you out. I mean, email us, help@LymeDiseaseWars.com, and we're here for you. We'll help you get it downloaded. But it's my gift to you, completely free, so that you can start taking back your body and feeling like yourself again. And these 2 books are much more in-depth. That's just a free guide that I created. But these 2 books are 2 of my favorites. Healing Lyme by Stephen Herod Booner and Unlocking Lyme by Dr. Bill Rawls are 2 great books. And they both talk about these 3 herbs in their books, which is what really inspired me to take these herbs when I was fighting Lyme disease, and then really inspired me to create the LymeWars herb box later on once I beat it, because I really think that it can be way easier for people and way cheaper, but people like to make it harder, make it more expensive so that they can make more off of your time, energy, and money. And I'm not about that life. I want to help out. I want to make sure that everyone has everything they need to fight back against Lyme disease, and that's why I'm here. So I may or may not be working on another book right now, and I would love your support when that's ready and when that comes out. And that's all I'm going to say right there. But what's the best YouTube channel for Lyme? Now, this one I will have to actually unashamedly say it is my YouTube channel here at Health Spark. The reason for that is I have over 350 videos about Lyme disease, my journey with Lyme, everything I went through with Lyme disease. This channel's been open for 5 years now. We have a lower amount of subscribers, so hit that subscribe button. We have only 1.98K subscribers, which is still a lot of people. Remember, Lyme disease affects hundreds of thousands of people every year, so I would love your help in reaching more people and helping more people. I can't, do it by myself. We all play a part in this thing. We all help each other get, what's the saying? Rising tide lifts all ships. We've got to work together in that way. So it really helps me when you share my content, or when you subscribe to my channel, or when you comment or anything, when you engage with us. We love that stuff because it helps us grow. It helps us reach more people that have Lyme disease so that they can know their options and they can understand that they have more options other than just the things that they immediately see, which are overpriced and don't work as well as what we've got here at LymeWars. So this health channel is set up to be expanded beyond just Lyme disease in the future, because I believe that we can have a much bigger impact and help even more people with their health, because so many people don't know that they have Lyme disease, and so many people are struggling with autoimmune conditions and other health conditions that they need help with. They need a nutritionist for, they need holistic wellness for, and I hope that I can build more and more content that helps more and more people. So it's not always going to be just Lyme disease, but you should hit the subscribe button, because right now it's all about Lyme disease, as I'm helping that specific person that I was 9 years ago when I went through my journey with Lyme disease that kind of got me to where I am today. I need to help that person, because I just remember feeling like nobody was there for me. I remember feeling like, why is it hard? Why isn't it so obvious what I should do? Why doesn't anybody, support me or help me in this journey? And that's why I had to become that type of person for myself and for other people that have Lyme disease. And so here we are today. And thank you so much for being here. Hit the subscribe button if you're here. And thank you so much. Are natural sugars okay? Bananas, apples, dates, etc. Love that question. That's a great question. Fruits are okay because they're not just empty sugar, right? When we think of sugar, it is different than thinking of an apple. They're tied to the sugar, it's called fructose, and it's tied to water, fiber, and it has vitamins and minerals, which makes it a completely different thing than natural sugars in terms of, cane sugar, like actual sugar granules. And this is kind of my warning about this, though. It's very easy for people to hear fruits and vegetables and eat a lot of fruits and vegetables and then eat loads of fruit because they taste good, right? It's easy to just pick up the fruit every time because fruits and vegetables, right? But the body still needs to process all that fructose. And fructose has its own pathway separate from sucrose or other types of sugar. And when it's eaten in high doses, that pathway tends to get backed up, doesn't work as well when you're talking about the digestion of that fructose sugar and the effect that it has on our blood sugars. So there's a limit on how much the body can process, is a very simple way to think about it, right? We don't actually want to max out that limit of those natural sugars, even though they are better, obviously, than sugar, way better than sugar. And they can be valuable in that they have vitamins and minerals and water and fiber, right? We need all those things. But if you were to eat fruit all day, I wouldn't see that as the best choice for fighting against Lyme disease. Vegetables are so powerful and beneficial, you would obviously want to have a large amount of vegetables. So personally, I tried to limit my intake of fruits while I was healing from Lyme, to be completely straightforward and upfront. And really all I did was use it in smoothies to make it taste a little bit sweeter. And I wouldn't use a ton. I would use like half a banana in my smoothie. Even though the smoothie would taste mostly like green stuff, I would know for a fact that all that fructose from the fruit wouldn't be in my body. I wouldn't have to use that pathway to digest that sugar, and therefore I would keep my blood sugar more stable and my body less inflammatory and more working towards health, if that makes sense. So it would reduce inflammation, ideally, to not have any types of sugar in our body. But again, there's benefits too. If you have no vitamins and minerals in your life and you need fiber, that a fruit is definitely a preferred option than, for example, a pizza. There's definitely a hierarchy here in terms of what to eat. But personally, I was so strict with myself that I cut out fruit when I was beginning to heal from Lyme disease. Then I added in half a banana for my smoothies. And then, as time went on, now I'll eat like a bowl of fruit at night for a snack or whatever. I eat fruit pretty often now. I'll eat an apple during the day. But at the time when I was fighting Lyme disease and I felt like I needed to do everything in my power to heal, which is how you might feel right now, I did no fruit. Just to be completely upfront and honest. And again, it goes back to the question from the very beginning, what foods to eat and fasting and all those things, right? We were talking about resetting the body, resetting the system. And so hopefully if you take anything with you from this live session today, it's that resetting your system and getting back to a place of healing and health by doing things like cutting out a majority of what you're eating. Right? I know it sounds scary. It sounds like too much maybe. And maybe it is for some people. But for some people, this works very well. It's just to reset, cut back down to just vegetables and see how you do for a couple days. I'm not talking about forever, right? Try to eat just vegetables for 3 days. See how that goes. Right? And if you can't do that, try to fast first, because it'll be easier to do it after a fast, from my experience. Then you can move on to adding things back slowly, right? Usually it can take a little bit longer though. We do like to do an elimination diet for around 21 days if we can get there. If we can't get the 21-day elimination diet, then we'll settle for 10 days or 7 days. But if you can do it for 21 days, that allows us to then start adding things back in and figure out what's really, you'll notice if something doesn't agree with your body, and you'll be more picky and you'll be more understanding at that point. After 21 days of eating super healthy, you will know how it feels to not feel good, because you'll know how it feels to feel good, right? And so that's our hopes and our goals for you. And I hope you have some goals of your own and that you'll share them with us so that we can help you get there. Thank you so much for watching this video. I think that is all I had today. Again, get your free Lyme survival guide. The link is in the description directly below this video. And feel free to reach out to us at help@LymeDiseaseWars.com. That's help@LymeDiseaseWars.com. Or get your herbs, get signed up. We'll help you. We'll reach out to you. We'll talk to you. Anything you need, go to LymeDiseaseWars.com. Get everything you need. Collagen, herbs, everything is there. And we will talk to you soon. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.